Hello YouTube land, it's Debbie from the Canadian Crochet. It's Thursday, November 16th. I got it. It is cleaning day, but I figured I'd take a couple moments to check in with you guys and show you what I've been up to in the last week and a half, I guess. It's been busy. Hubby went hunting, so I've been managing on my own and things like that. So getting ready for Christmas, even though our Christmas is not going to be till January. Long story, but anyway. What have I been up to? I think I mentioned to you before. Oops. My son-in-law really wanted a scrappy blanket yarn blanket because his sons always fight for it, so he wanted his own, and I made it. I think I showed you the big bag of blanket yarn that I had left over, so I'm just throwing any color. Anyway, it's big. This is it. It's big, and he's gonna love it, and so that's done. I've actually started a second one. My neighbor, which I'll talk about in a minute, was over a few days ago, and she saw this and she's like, oh, I want one. I have enough for another blanket. So I started a second one for her. It's gonna be very similar to this, very scrappy. Whatever comes up, comes up. Not gonna be as bright because I used all the bright colors in this one. I don't have a lot of bright colors left, but she's okay with it, so I'm like, okay. It's mindless, you know, you just kind of say it's all half double crochet, so got that done. But it was, you know, it took a while. The other thing is I mentioned that I was cleaning. Oh wait, let's talk about this. What am I wearing? This was another finished object. So my dear friend Setta sent me a pattern that she has released for, it's called the Any Season Cardigan. So I'll show it to you, and I'll leave a link for the pattern here and for Setta's channel. Love that woman. She sent me this pattern and I made it. I'll stand back. It's very colorful. Very colorful. I did make some changes. Hers was a little shorter. I made mine a little longer, and hers was 3/4 length sleeves. I'm not a 3/4 length sleeve kind of gal, so I made full sleeves. And I haven't decided, I'm not keen on this curling here, so I think I might put some buttons, but I'm on the hunt for some big buttons. I think I've showed other cardigans that I made where I've used big buttons, so I'm gonna be looking through what I have, and if I don't have it, I'm gonna look for some big buttons to add. It's very colorful. Anyway, this was so easy to do, and the granny square cardigans now, this is using it's a hexagon. What did she call it? Is it a hexagon? Make hexagons. Yeah, so you make 2 hexagons, and excuse me. And they're very, very popular right now, so it's very on trend. Anyway, I wanted a super colorful one. Yeah, I loved it. Now I did use mandala in the color Gnome. I think it's just mandala, right? Yeah, in the color Gnome. It's an underrated yarn, in my opinion. It is a number 3, I believe. Yeah, it's a number 3, but I enjoyed working with this so fast. It didn't take me very long to make this at all. So much fun. I did color control a little bit, because as you can see, I'm gonna show you 3 of them here. I have 3 because I'm gonna be working on a blanket using this, which is a future show and tell. None of them start the same way. I still have about 8 of these, and I used 3 to make my sweater, and with some left over, because so I would say 2 3/4 balls that I use for this sweater. But none of them start the same way. Now normally, and I didn't color control kind of in the body, I just kind of let it happen, but I wanted the pit area to be exactly the same. Normally, I am not a symmetrical kind of gal. I like chaos. But I wanted this part to look the same. And roughly I was able to make the sleeves roughly the same too. I didn't I did some color control. So like I did, you know, if there was like 4 rows of orange, I made sure there was 4 rows of orange here. So I did have to cut up the cakes, but otherwise it was so easy, so easy. I love this thing. And again, my neighbor was looking at it. She's like, oh, I love the colors. So maybe there's one in the future for her. It's so easy. You guys got to give it a try, and it's on trend. Everybody's doing them. But I'll leave the link for Setta's. Thank you, Setta. It is fabulous. Look at this. Again, I love it. I did not put pockets, but I think if I make another one, I think I want to make it a little longer, so that it's like, so maybe even like, you know, in the old 70s when they had, well, I shouldn't be dating myself, you know, they had the fabric belts as well with the little loop here. I might do that too for the next one. Anyway, I'm so happy with this. I'll leave a link. And this yarn, like I said, is underrated in my opinion. It was a joy to work with. Even though it's a number 3, it didn't feel like it was taking forever. So, love this. And the next project's gonna be a blanket made out of that. And then, like I said, mentioned before, I was cleaning out my room, and like I said, I showed you guys a big bag of the blanket yarn. And I have a bag of chunky. So it's not as big as the blanket bag, but I had all these chunky, like half balls, 3/4 of a ball, or some even smaller pieces. Well, not that small, but you know, like that. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with it? I don't really want to donate it. Who else? What is somebody else gonna do with these little pieces of yarn? So I've also mentioned that I make little blankets to go by my back door, because we have a fire pit out the back. And so I have a basket or bin full of blankets on those chillier nights when you're sitting by the fire. I mean, we've had fires here in January with our snowsuits on. But anyway, so I made another one. This one's slightly bigger than what I normally made. And this is a granny in the rectangle. And there you go. This is what I call chaos. This is wonderful. I had put no thought into the color schemes. It just came out that way. Just love it. And I used up a lot of the chunky. So what I'm gonna do with the leftover is make a basket. So maybe I'll make a basket for all these blankets that I've been making. So this is great. And I actually don't have any more chunky yarn in my stash at all. So once I get rid of that, maybe it'll be time to go shopping for chunky yarns, because they make great quick hats, right? Anyway, made that. And this was, again, mindless. And I've been, this week since hubby's been gone, I've been only working on mindless stuff because my older dog seems to have bonded with my husband. So when he's gone, he's extra needy. So I couldn't really sit and, you know, in the evening sit and work, because he's right up. He's right up against me. He's just loving on me. So he's lying on me and I'm kind of crocheting like this. You know, he's 15. Like, you know, he gets to do what he wants. So I did not want to think and follow a chart, because I'm still working on my snowflake blanket. But I didn't want to follow the chart because it's too difficult to be tending to him. And so, like I said, he is 15, and the doctor said he does have dementia. So he gets to do what he wants. Anyway, so he's been extra clingy to me. But anyway, that's what I have made. Oh, the other thing that I started, I only have one done, and it's gonna be a long time before I finish it, is Krista from the Secret Yarnery put a tutorial out for a Christmas cactus. I have Christmas cactus everywhere. So it's actually one plant that I got like 15 years ago, and as it gets bigger I snip off and start another one, and they're all blooming now. It's wonderful. She put out a tutorial for a crochet version, and I made one stem. Let me tell you, this is not for the faint of heart. Working around a wire, I guess I'll get better as it progresses, but the first one, let me tell you, I was fighting this thing. Anyway, so this is my first stem of the Christmas cactus, and I will finish it. Probably won't be till spring, but it's cute, right? I'll leave the link for Krista's tutorial. She does such an amazing job. She makes it look so easy. But don't be deterred when you start, because working around the wire is a little trickier than just crocheting. So, but it was fun. Took me a little while, but I'm sure by the end of it, by the time I get it all done, I'm sure it'll be much faster. But cute, right? So cute. So that'll be an ongoing, I just have ongoing projects. That's all I have. And what else? Oh, the last thing. I think I talked about the hexie fabric quilt that I'm going to be making for our king size bed. Still kind of piecing it together. I'm only about halfway done. It's a very huge project. And I wasn't in a rush to finish it because the idea of quilting it on my little machine was just, it was like, I was so scared because it's never going to fit in my little machine. And it was funny, I was at a craft fair not too long ago, local one, and there's a lady and she sews, and there was a quilt there. We started talking, and I'm like, oh, did you do this on a home machine? She goes, no, I have a long arm, which is, and I'm like, really? And she says, yeah, I'm the cheapest in the area. You won't find anybody cheaper to quilt your projects. And I said to her, I said, I'm kind of leery because I've read on blog posts that some long armors are quite judgmental of the work that comes in that they have to quilt. Oh, it's not straight, it's not, it's not perfect. And I said, I don't want to be judged. I judge myself harshly as it is. I don't need someone else kind of putting their nose up. She goes, goodness no, we all started somewhere. She goes, bring it to me, I'll give you a good deal. So that's what's going to happen with that king size. When I get it done, probably not for a few months, I'm gonna take it to her and she'll just quilt it, and then I'll bind it. Like, this is a lifesaver, right? And she's just like 15 minutes down the road. We live in the middle of nowhere. And what are the odds that I find a long armor 15 minutes down the road? Amazing. Anyway, back to the quilt. I was saying that, got my neighbor doing it. I gave her some fabrics, and she's been making the hexies, and she decided to use some of the fabrics that I gave her and some shirts. Her dad passed away a few years ago, and her mom's alone, so she wanted to make a table runner using some of the fabrics that I gave her and incorporating her dad's shirts. So she's working on it. She's done the top. She's ready to quilt it now, which she's gonna come over and I'm gonna teach her. Anyway, I told her, don't throw away your scraps. Like, I'm thinking little pieces, right? Don't throw away your scraps. I'm gonna put it in eventually a poof. I'm gonna make a poof and I'm gonna stuff it with fabric. She goes, yeah, no problem. She brought over her scraps, and I'm looking through and I'm going, that's not what I consider scraps. So I took out the scraps of her dad's shirts. She doesn't know yet. And I pieced it together and I made a pillow for her. So I'm gonna show it to you. This is one of her dad's shirts. He was a farmer, hunter, a guy's guy. And so I just pieced but these were not ones that she's using. She made a table runner, but I figured she would. And this shirt, oh my goodness, I don't know if it's because it's probably 30 years old, 40 years old, and it's buttery soft. So I made that, and then I used the back. Now the fabric that I chose were tiny little pieces, and because when she was cutting, she didn't take into account that I was gonna be piecing them together, so she went really close to the edge of the buttons, and I wanted to use the buttons, snap buttons, as closure. So it was really quite difficult, but I did it, see, and you can tell that this was another shirt that he had. So I made this for her, and I think that she's gonna love it because it's sentimental, right? So I made that. It's wonderful, I think, and I hope that she'll like it. So I get that done. That's all I've been up to. Well, no, I've done other things and I got nothing else finished. But recently someone somebody sent me an email and asked me, because I mentioned I thrift a lot. And what do I thrift for? What am I looking for? Well, first of all, fabric. I didn't bring any fabric to show you. I thrift mostly fabrics. that I reuse in bags and other things. But I also thrift for other things. And I'm going to show you my recent acquisitions, things that I gravitate towards. So the first one, I like handmade. And this piece I saw, and it's made out of terracotta and glass. And it's a wonderful little lady with red boots, hat, and purse. And it is handmade, but unfortunately I cannot read the signatures down here. I cannot read the signature at all, but you can see it's imprinted in there. Yeah, I don't know what it says, but anyway, and then it's got a little leather handle. It is beautiful. She's beautiful. And I paid $3 for her, so it's wonderful. I love it. So this will find a place in my home because it's handmade and it's very well done. Like, I don't know. So that's the kind of thing I thrift. $3 for a piece of art that somebody spent time making, and it looks like it's been, you know, very well made, and it looks like some time has been put into it. So unfortunately it was $3. Like, fortunately for me, but unfortunately for whoever made it. The other thing I made, sometimes it's not handmade. I found this, I think this is that polystone stuff. You know, you can put it outside. It's a, oh my goodness, it's gracious, it's heavy. It's a little bucket, and it looks like there's sand, and you know, this is gonna be a flower pot outside by the dock. You know, we don't have sand, but you know, you get the idea. And it's gonna have flowers coming out of it. So this is that polystone. I don't remember what I paid, a couple of bucks. But anyway, it's fabulous, and it's in mint condition. It's perfect. So I'm sure something like this up here in Canada has got to be going for, I mean, it's heavy. It's got to be at least 40 bucks in the store, right? So that, and then the last thing I want to show you, I went shopping with a friend yesterday, and we hit a couple of thrift stores, and I came across this. I have no idea what it is, but I know what I'm going to use it for. It's this. I have this kind of like a fence outside, and it's so boring, and it's a wood fence. I plan on putting a whole bunch of kitschy stuff. I love kitsch, by the way. And this guy's gonna go in there. So I actually don't know what it's for, because this gets removed. I don't know what it is, but I'm not gonna remove it. I'm gonna plant some strawberry, oops. I'm gonna plant some strawberries in there, because these are holes, and the strawberries are gonna come out. And I'm gonna stick them up on the wall and let strawberries do their thing. Isn't he fabulous? So, and he's plastic, so he's good for the weather, and I'm just gonna hang him up on the fence. So this is the kind of stuff that I thrift. Yeah, I love kitsch. So anyway, hopefully that it gives you an idea, whoever was asking, it gives you an idea of what I thrift for. I rarely thrift for yarn, and the reason is because, like I mentioned before, sometimes there's a bit of a smell, and people have given me ideas on how to clean the yarn, but I haven't tried it yet, so maybe next time I go thrifting I will buy some yarn and give it a try on how to remove that smell that some thrift stores have, you know. Anyway, that's all I've been up to, and we're under 20 minutes, yay, in and out. I actually have one more video because I finished an item, but it's a birthday gift. So I can't show you now, but I'm gonna film the video, and then in December, after the person receives it, I'm gonna attach this clip to, or the clip that I'm gonna make next, to a video in December. So I'm very excited about that. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a wonderful November so far, and we will talk soon.